Right, gents, this is just a quick demonstration from the logical progression of the eForms. This is our eForms electronic forms management tool, and what we've got on here is the next rendition of this. So quickly, when I select discipline, I'll go instrumentation controls. There's instrumentation controls. We can put in searches here. I can filter whether A's or B's, and eventually we'll add C's. I'll just go for A here, and I can also type in a filter here, so you get just instrument inspection, or if I put in rupture disk, I'll put in rupture. Let's see how that works. There you go. Clear that out, you can see that. Okay, so if I just pick on one of these, I'm going to pick on the instrument installation inspection, this one here. And it just takes a second to boot up. There we go. Right, so there are all of the inspection activities on our master set. So what we've done now, if we, by default, they're all selected. If I unselect these, for example, and when I submit that, that's what goes to the active database. I go save and submit that. So that would go, those were only the items that were ticked, and I'll put them back in for the purpose of this demonstration. They would only be the items that would be exported out to our Excel rendition of the all-form exporter. So that would be the active items that are on the all-form exporter. So if, for example, I didn't want confirm instrument condition is satisfactory, just untick that, click submit, and that would no longer be on there. So what we've added is this extra tool. This extra tool here now is if I want to select the service group. So let's say here is flow direction correct. So that only applies to flow. So as you can see, that's changed to flow. Now in our application, that means only the devices that were related to flow would get confirm flow direction is correct. If I click on select all, it by default selects them all, and I go deselect all, you see it goes to nothing. So on the generic ones, it says confirm nameplate, I would select all of those because the confirm nameplate applies in all cases. However, in certain ones, like calibrations, they only would apply to transmitters and gauges. In the case of this example, the flow direction only applies to flow. Let's see if I can find a better one. Right, thermal well. So that's only going to apply to temperature. So I would just click on there and pick off here temperature. So that activity, record the thermal well length, only applies to the temperature related tags. Okay, so that's how that works. This selection here only applies if there will be the active items. And what we also added is this new little tool here, and we'll put some dialog box and some narrative, but this is just the first version. And click on this on off button. Now that's a toggle switch for selecting whether or not this item is repeated. So if we wanted to repeat this confirm the nameplate because there was more than one items, once we toggle that on and tick that box, then on the tablet or on the device or on the database it would say, do you want to do it again? Do you want to do it again? Do you want to do it again? So this is going to give us the capability of having one item that could be repeated several times. So for example, in the case of record the test equipment, you'd say record test equipment, make, model, manufacturer, serial number. Tick the box here, do it again, record the test equipment, make, model, equipment, serial number, etc. So that gives us the capability of having repeated activities within the body of the form. And probably the last thing I want to show is the input type. So we can have either default is pass or fail. We can select whether it's got a text input. We can also select whether it's a numerical input. And if it is a numerical input, let's say it's measure, for example, then we could put that the unit type would be millimeters. So the input type defines that it's a number. It's expecting the field technician to put a number in. The measure would give him a clue as to what it is that he's actually typing in, what the detail that we want. and the unit is what we're expecting him, whether it was inches, whether it was millimetre, degrees C, degrees F, etc. So that's that second one where we can pick the type of input. We're also going to add a couple of other different types of inputs as we refine this. That will give us other capabilities, but just for the purpose of the exercise, this will be fine now, so you can see how this is working. And for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm sure that's complete.